just a short video. I'm going to go live here for a few minutes. I don't know. I'm not going to really wait around for a lot of people to join this chat. This is really more of a way of me being able to, upload this first impressions video. I'm sitting outside, by the way. There's a bunch of kids inside. So the options were one, either deal with a bunch of noise, or two, deal with a bunch of noise from traffic. I opted for the traffic. Hey, how's it going? Um, yeah, so I was just saying I opted for some traffic noise, so please forgive me. I hope the internet speed is going to be fast enough. So I think we're okay. Anyway, looking at some stuff here that some of which is recently acquired by me. A couple things have been sticking around for a while, but I thought I'd have just a little discussion about. Oh, good. Glad it sounds good. Yeah, as I say, you may hear some traffic in the background. Just ignore it. I'm going to try to. Anyway, I got some stuff I want to share with you, especially want to give a quick first impressions on the Gavco Thresher here. And just to run through, there's the traffic noise I was talking about. And just to run through, I've had some recent acquisitions. Some of these you've already seen, but I wanted to comment a little bit on some of them. So this is a Hinder XM18. I'm sure most of you are probably familiar with it. This is the Skinner grind with a nice green anno and bronze, or I guess this would be the copper hardware. Let's see, you can see the standoffs there as well. And now we're going to get a flock of geese flying by. Anyway, we're just gonna keep going. So picked this guy up recently. I've wanted to have an XM18 back in the collection. I was really missing having one, and my friend William had one that was so impressive that when he decided to sell it, we messaged back and forth quite a bit. I've got to say, this is the nicest action I've seen on any standard version XM18. And so I'm really, really happy I was able to get this. And, I've carried this a ton since I got it. And this one I think will stick around in the collection. The other knife that I recently acquired is this Inkosi with micarta inlay. I've had an Inkosi before. I really, really, really like it. But even back then when I had one, you kind of feel like there's a certain one I really want. This was the one. Okay, and so I waited. I sold my initial one, waited around, and was eventually able to pick this one up. And I'm super, super happy with it. And I'll probably make some comments about that in a second here. I just want to share with you the most recent acquisition. This guy just arrived. I know I'm really late to the party on this. This is, of course, the Gavco Thresher collaboration with Mastrop, built by We Knives. And I've got to say, I handled one of these at Blade, and I was so, so impressed. If anybody else watching this has one, let me know what your thoughts were. But wow, I handled this and was playing with it a little bit while I was talking to the guys from Mastrop, and I was so stoked about it that I knew I was going to get one. It was definitely on my short list. Let me see if I can just move the camera in a little bit there. There we go. Okay, so got the all gray. Nice. So let me give you a quick rundown on some of the initial thoughts I wanted to share, and I'd love to have you guys weigh in as we're kind of working through here. So the first one is, all of these knives represent knives, especially these three. These two not so much. Well, actually, let's switch these around. These all represent knives that I wanted, but I wanted just the right one in a particular configuration that was exactly what I wanted. And it was a little difficult to acquire each of these. There was a bit of a wait, it was sort of, anyway, they were knives that didn't show up in my collection right away. It took some time. And so now that I've got them, I'm pretty happy. But there are a couple things I thought I maybe would just mention that might help somebody else who's out there looking for some kind of grail. Or, these aren't really grail knives, honestly, guys, but they're knives that I did really want. So first of all, don't jump on the first one you see. Even if you want it, if you've been waiting for a long time, it can get you into a lot of trouble just jumping on something because you think it's good. Still do all your due diligence, still go through the same process that you would go through buying any knife to make sure that you're getting the knife you want for the price you want. Next, make sure you don't overpay. I know you really want it, and I know, you know, the market is drying up and you're hoping for more to show up. Um, but don't fall into the trap of thinking like, oh, I'm just going to do anything I can to get my hands on this. You'll probably end up regretting it. The other thing is, don't get scammed. I'm sure that a lot of the people who end up getting scammed, and the times that I've been closest to getting scammed and ended up backing out of a deal, were times where there was something I really, really wanted, and I was just so desperate that I almost pulled the trigger on something that, as I kind of, as cooler heads prevailed, I had to say, okay, whoa, something doesn't seem right about this. It doesn't pass the sniff test, and I backed out. So just be careful about that, guys. So you got to be really careful about that. And the other thing is, don't settle. Okay, if you want, so for example, I've wanted an Inkosi with black micarta for a long time, and I've been offered an Inkosi with a different color micarta, and I've been offered you know, a plain Inkosi, which I already had. So but there are some variations out there, but I knew exactly the one I wanted, and so I wasn't willing to settle. You know, maybe you will be, maybe you'll be surprised, but I would say, you know, stick to your guns, bide your time, and you'll eventually get the knife that you want. Whether you're waiting because, you know, you just can't afford it right now, then keep saving. Whether you're waiting because the right thing hasn't come along, then keep waiting. It's worthwhile to get exactly what you want rather than settling for something less. Okay, that's my little lecture. That's all I've got for you. The next thing I want to do is just give you quick first impressions on the Gavko Thresher here, because I have to say, guys, I am super impressed with this knife. And essentially me going live with this video is a way of just posting this first impression. So what we have here, of course, is the green with the, they call it the fisheye, and I kind of don't love the black, but yeah, what can you do, right? So we have a great design from Michael Gavko, and you know, this will be a test of how long you've been around, guys. Who's watching this can remember watching Michael Gavko's videos when he was a YouTuber. I watched his 0200 zero tolerance 0200 video multiple times when I was waiting for my 0200 to come in the mail. So I remember watching all those videos. I remember Bro's Silent Soldier video that he did, and a few others. I'm sure they're still out there, by the way. So I'd love to hear that in the comments. If you remember Michael Gavko when he wasn't a knife maker, when he was just making videos with that thick accent, that was some great stuff. And of course now he's got tons of great designs, and it's great to see him go as far as he has. And of course, this Thresher collaboration was a great option. So let's do a quick rundown on this guy. So I love this design. This is I'm almost hesitant to say this, but I don't love every Gavko knife. They tend to be really out there. Even this is pretty aggressive in its styling, but I really like it. This is my favorite Gavko design. Okay, S35 VN blade up front, high flat grind, sort of that double clip point. Really, I don't know if I can do this one-handed. I'm kind of controlling the camera with one hand. Hold on. This doesn't want to focus for me. Sorry, guys. Anyway, it's not going to focus the way I want it to, but you're going to have to take my word for it. This is a really pointed blade. Oh. Sorry, guys. I got some kids that decided to run around even though they were completely quiet and not making a fuss. They've decided to come and charge through when I'm recording. So, Asher, stop. There we go. Okay, I'm back. Forgive the intrusion. Just got to scold the kids there for a second. Guys, you need to play somewhere else, okay? Get away from here. Let's go back and finish the quick rundown that I was doing. So S35VN, titanium. Yeah, I hope everyone's getting a good laugh out of this, because I'm stuck here with the camera. I can't do anything about it, so I'm completely at their mercy. Anyway, titanium frame lock, green anno on this. Dr. Funky would love this knife. I really like the scalloping on there. So yeah, you do. So I love the finish that WE does here. And this is where I'm going to regret it. Maybe if I do this. I don't know what it is about this that it's not wanting to focus the way I want it to. But I'll have to wait till I'm back in my normal recording space to show you in the full review the We finish the finish that We Knives has done on here. I really like the sort of stonewash finish that they do. Probably many of you watching are familiar with it, and so you'll kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about there. But very impressive. The only thing I will say now, comfortable in hand. I really like the ergonomics on this guy, at least initially. Single position clip, that's going to put some people off. Full backspacer. So the only thing, upon first impression, the action is fantastic. This is a super fidgety knife. Really the only minor complaint that I can imagine having right now as far as an initial impression is the fact that this guy is a little heavy for a knife this size. I think it's right at 8 inches. Let me just check. I don't have a ruler out here, but I know the XM18 is 8¼ inches. And so, you know, if you kind of look at those side by side, you can get a pretty good idea. Just a hair shorter than the XM18. So I'm going to go with, you know, it's right around 8 inches. Yeah, and so, yeah, that high flat grind, you're right, is very slicey. Nice and thin behind the edge. And I love satin finishes. I really do. That was, you know, when I was picking the variation that I wanted, that was kind of a no-brainer. So I think that's about all I've got. And yeah, on weight, I would say this guy's easily 5 ounces. I could be wrong, but, you know, if I pick these two up, they're very similar. I know this guy's like 5.5 ounces. So there you go. I'm not going to stick around any longer. As you can hear, there's all kinds of noise going on. So, yeah, Crooked River. Guys! So, yeah, I'll show you quickly this Crooked River. This is modified with the Rogue Blade Works. Modified with the Rogue Blade Works scales and stuff. And so, I love it. Sadly, to my knowledge, Rogue Blade Works is not doing any more of these scales, which is a real disappointment. I have a blue-black backspacer in here now. I also have a carbon fiber backspacer that kind of matches the scales. And this is perfect. This is my favorite Benchmade, and it's in a configuration that I absolutely love. So really great knife. Thanks for asking about it. I should have probably commented more on it from when I started the video. The only knife I haven't really talked about here is going to be this guy. And you guys know this knife if you've been around the channel at all, Riot Torrent. One of my favorite all-time knives. It's just fantastic. I really enjoy this guy an awful lot. Okay, as you can hear, it's time for me to go deal with the kids, so I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks for watching, thanks for commenting, and let me know what your thoughts are on the Thresher here. I'm way late to the party on this one, but I thought I'd share a quick first impression with you anyway. Yeah, the Torrent, man, is really nice, and you know what? Check out Blade Forums. You see these go for like, I don't know, $250 or something like that. So quite a bit less than they initially sold for. So it's an absolute win. Great knife. Okay, guys, this time I really am going to sign off. We'll talk to you later.